Welcome to a Starter and a Chaser podcast with your hosts, Joe Clarke and Jon Passow.
I once went to a pet store and asked if they had any chameleons. They said they weren't sure. Oh, hey! Welcome to another episode of a Starter and a Chaser podcast, where every Wednesday we review one whiskey and one beer. I'm Professional Brewer Jon Passow.
I'm Whiskey Connoisseur Joe Clarke.
Joe, what do we have for the starter?
Well, it's special. Cue the band. WhistlePig 18 year. All right.
And for the beer, we have from Prairie Artisan Ale, Weekend.
Dude.
We've been digging on that one.
Yeah.
But, we
don't say anything. Don't say anything. Whiskey.
It's a whiskey.
All right. WhistlePig. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, we have had a lot of WhistlePigs on the episode.
18 year. WhistlePig was started in 2007, and he is correct. We have so far, the WhistlePigs we have showcased.
Links right there.
Your Boss Hogs and stuff like that. This is our first non-Boss Hog. So it is, they started in 2007 in Shoreham, Vermont. 500-acre farm.
It's right next to Floridia.
They distill in copper pot stills, also in their own Vermont oak barrels, their own Vermont source trees. Double malted rye whiskey.
That's this one.
79% rye, 15% malted rye, and another 6% malted barley.
Hence the double malt.
We are coming in at especially on this show, a little bit lighter of a 92 proof. So they have this really interesting handmade glass stopper. It's an AO glass in the Burlington Art District.
That comes all packaged together with the whiskey.
Each stopper is unique, and it is pressed by hand in a 19th century glass pressing machine.
So that's, you got one special thing, and then you got another special thing that comes with it. I mean, that is really cool.
Yes.
Comes in a nice cool box.
So it all kind of the bottle, you kind of start at the top and slide the bottle in there, and it slides together. It's a really nice presentation.
Absolutely.
And
it's probably the nicest presentation of a whiskey that we've come across.
That's pretty unique. Yeah, definitely. I would say.
We've got them pre-poured here. This was donated to us by one of our loyal viewers, Stephen Crook. So thank you, Stephen. What do you pick up on the nose here? I'll show it to the camera.
So you obviously have, let's look at it real quick. Surprisingly for 18 year on this one, John, it's very light, almost like how we criticize like a Scotch or being aged or something.
When the wood is kind of old and you put the Scotch in there, you don't get a ton of color pickup.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing
reminiscent
with this.
Of that, yeah.
But in order to be American whiskey, it's got to be all new oak, right? Yeah. So that wouldn't be the case with this. Interesting. Right. 18 year, I can't wait.
Extremely caramely. It's a rye. It's very rye forward. It's very grainy, very earthy. Typical with it seems to be from our experience with the WhistlePig products. A lot of vanilla on this one too. Pulling a lot of your notable bourbon characteristics out of this.
Easy for you to say.
The rye really shine. Not unlike the Boss Hogs, which are finished in your
the different casks,
Armagnac and stuff like that. A lot of the French casks they like to use for that. So this isn't like that at all on the nose. This is very rye forward. Very typical notes of your rye baking spices and stuff like that. So John, let's it's very thick, very long legs.
Oh yeah. Right in.
What do you think? Do you think we should do this, or do you think we just move on to the beer? No, let's do this. Let's go first.
It's here. It's
part of the show. All right.
Rye.
Wow.
A lot of rye.
Now that's rye.
Wow. So up front, I was about to say, very light up front. Yeah. But then all of a sudden, like a second after swallowing, it just blossoms. I mean, it's like with the mouthfeel, with the flavors, with the alcohol outgassing. I mean, it just like blew up. That was cool.
It's because of the rye being 100% rye, or I shouldn't say 100% rye, being a very heavy rye. This one, even at 92 proof, because of the spice kind of mixes with that alcohol. Comes in a little hotter feeling than 92 proof.
Spice
not really a Kentucky hug to it at all.
Not that I'm getting.
Or even a Vermont hug. Or a Toronto hug.
Yeah, we coined
different
quite a few hugs through our time.
But this is it's a rye. You know it's a rye. It's very grassy, very earthy, spicy. It's nice, man. There's something else in the background there. Kind of butterscotch?
Yeah, I do get butterscotch.
Because that note lingers really hard in the finish.
I got that rye, and then, slowly but surely that butterscotch starts to come to the forefront. And get a little bit of the barrel come in towards the end as well. Okay. But the finish is really interesting for me. As much as it blossoms after you swallow it, it starts to it just starts to dissipate and fade out in the corners, and you're left with this kind of mouth-watering, light, almost like a little hint of orange. Like you've said in the past, it's a very succulent drink. Yeah. It's mouth-watering. It's savory, it's succulent, it's really interesting. And a lot of the WhistlePigs I have found to be like that. It is very succulent. Very They've got a theme going on there. Mm-hmm. And this is really cool. Now, Steven said that when we try this, he does add water every once in a while, but he said this one we have to have a couple drops of water in there, because he said it makes it a completely different drink. So we have our old Limestone brand mixing water. It's Limestone filtered, this is exactly the type of water that they use in Kentucky. So I'm going to take and pull up a couple drops, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 1. Come on. 1, 2, 3. There it is. All right. We're gonna swirl this and swirl it around. How much it'll change. A lot of people say that water can really, just a couple drops even, can really drastically change a whiskey. I'm not a fan because I find it rounds off a lot of those rough edges that I enjoy. But what are you getting on the smell now? We're going to do a quick, brief synopsis of this and not a deep dive. This is weird. Juicy fruit. Wow. Is the taste going to move you? It is. Okay. It's totally juicy fruit gum. Wow. So really, already it's drastically changed. Wow. Just on the nose itself. Wow, this is like blowing up. The rye, the rye comes through a lot more. It's more subtle, mixed in with that kind of juicy fruit smell to it. But I think we should just take a taste. God, I wish we did a special episode on water now. Ooh, mellows that alcohol way. Absolutely. Even now you get more of the spicy drops of water. Yeah, that rye comes to the forefront. More of the caramel starts to come out for me. Yeah. Getting more of the barrel characteristics of it. Absolutely. The palate now. The tannins are starting to come out. I feel some of that vanilla. Yeah. Wow, Stephen, thank you for this suggestion. Good suggestion. Adding water to this. You're right. It really. So he's using a little dropper here. Mm-hmm. You see, like that, and you just put a few drops in. Very nice. Very nice setup. Great for dosing acid and water into your whiskey. I don't know, you got a problem if you're dosing that much acid. You need that big of a dropper. Wow, this is really cool. See how much I have left. I'm trying to savor it, Oh, I savored it all right. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I think this is a good review on this. Absolutely. Awesome. We're going to be right back with the Chaser in just a moment. See you guys in a second. And we are back with the Chaser, and that is Prairie Artisan Ales Weekend. Now, Prairie Artisan Ales was started back in 2012 in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plains. It is their weekend, which is their Imperial Pastry Stout. It's a whopping 13% ABV and is made with chocolate, cacao nibs, potato. No potatoes and potatoes are in this though. And marshmallows, which is like, that's crazy to put marshmallows in a beer.
I'm okay with that.
I've been turning a lot of people on to this beer.
Yes, he has.
Prairie Artisan Ales, as I get beer everywhere, it's up there with my breweries and some of my top favorite beers. They do anywhere from saisons, farmhouse ales, stouts, pilsners. They kind of do it all. Sours even.
Look at that. Oh, getting the syrups on that one too.
Syrups. Gotta get the syrups. Trying to get a little bit ahead here for you.
Look at that. Oh man. I'm ready.
And by the way, we gotta give a shout out to their labels. Their labels are always funky and interesting.
Yeah, nice kind of artistic. I like the cartoonish style to it. It's awesome, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that style.
All right, I'll show the camera while you take a sniff. I mean, you can't see anything coming out of this. It is dark as dark can be.
Dude, it's like chocolate, coconut, and marshmallowy. Very malty, a little earthy note to the back end of it, but the chocolate and the marshmallow really push through on this one on the nose. So it's thick, it's dark, it's everything I love. And my favorite style of beer is these dark stouts. And this is Imperial Stout?
Imperial Pastry Stout.
Imperial Pastry Stout.
Yeah.
Let's dive into this.
Yeah, that's treat. Good. Prost. Oh, beer, why do you have to be so good? This is marshmallow and chocolate and more chocolate and more marshmallow.
It's s'mores in a glass.
It really is. Joe, you nailed it right there. It is s'mores in the glass.
It's got the graham cracker, the chocolate, the marshmallow, a little coconut in the background, but the marshmallow and the chocolate really punch through. You get a little malt in there.
A little bit of roast.
Yeah,
more on the finish than anything, which really helps balance it because you've got a lot of sweetness up front. If it was just that, it would just be like cloyingly sweet, but you've got some of that roast coming in on the back end, and then also you got the 13% alcohol, which that heat a little bit
it comes in. It comes through. You feel the alcohol. You can taste the alcohol. It's perfectly perfectly blended.
It is well blended, and it just balances everything perfectly.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
So good.
So good. So good.
So as we're sitting here drooling over this one, if you had the weekend as well, or the barrel-aged, rarer version, the holiday weekend. Leave a comment below, hit the subscribe button. Let us know what you thought of that one.
I know what my thoughts are on this one, so yeah.
What a killer beer.
Yes.
I mean, this is probably, no lie, this is probably my 6th or 7th bottle of this one. I just keep going back, and at like $13 a bottle, it's not cheap. I mean, that's $1% alcohol, right?
Yeah.
there.
So and John turned me on to this, and he's like, you have to get it. You have to get it. You got to find it. And usually around where we're at, they're at Heineken stores, and I was just in a local place that right down the street from my shop, and I was like, oh wow. I'm looking through Chagrin Valley Beverage, and I was like, oh my gosh, they have the weekend. I'm buying it. And so I bought it, and it was around that price. I think it was about $13 for the bottle, and I bought some other beer too. And dude, I mean, I called him. I'm like, this is amazing.
Like, told you so.
It's so amazing.
That's why we really wanted to feature this one on the show, because pastry stouts can really be kind of out of balance, cloyingly sweet, and this one just
perfect
nails every single mark perfectly. It is so well balanced. It's like, we have to showcase this and let people know that Prairie Artisan Ales, they're doing great stuff, and the weekend is just a home run.
Home run. This is absolutely knocked it out of the ballpark, guys. Appreciate this one.
But we could go on and on about the weekend.
Sure.
And
it is the weekend.
Well, not when they watch it. It's going to be the weekday when they watch it. But let's go back and revisit WhistlePig Double Malt 18-Year Rye.
What else can you say about it? Double malt. It's a fantastic rye. There's nothing negative. Oops, knocking on my mic. There's nothing negative I can say about this one. It's really good. It really punches the flavors through. It's the type of rye that I really like. Very rye forward. I'm not saying anything bad about the Boss Hog series, so don't get me wrong. They're amazing. Yeah. But as far as like your just straightforward ryes, this one does it very well.
I love everything that I've had from WhistlePig, I almost call them Boss Hog, out of WhistlePig, especially their Boss Hogs, and this is no exception. Yeah. It is, at first it's light, and then it just blossoms, and when you add water to it, holy cow, it really drastically changes the drink. Yeah. And the fact that it just comes with, I got to showcase this again. This
box.
Beautiful packaging. I mean, sometimes packaging can be a gimmick, but with this one, I don't feel that's the case. I mean, it's quality on top of quality on top of quality. And you're going to pay for that, but it is worth the money. Now, if you have some, I wanted to say, do yourself a favor. If you've been drinking it neat, because we are big neat fans and not adding water,
do yourself a favor. Get some of that limestone water, put a couple drops in it because it'll change your mind, especially on this one because it's so concentrated on the flavors. It really does make it blossom. Yeah.
And I had no idea that was even possible, and being able to like that, and I like it on that one, so
absolutely
pretty cool that it's changed my thoughts. And we gushed about this one, but final thoughts. Fantastic.
Beautiful. If you like s'mores on a fire, you'll like the drink.
You like marshmallows in a glass.
It's not overly sweet, like he said about the Pastry Stouts. It's not overpowering because I've had some myself where, quarter of the way through, drain pour. You know what I mean? It was just too much sweetness, too much syrup to it. It was just, too thick. This one is the perfect balance of every ingredient in this.
It showcases all those ingredients perfectly. You get the chocolate, you get the coconut, you get the marshmallow. I mean, what can I say? That is a perfect beer.
It is.
Congratulations, Prairie. You have made a perfect beer. Cheers. And speaking of perfect, if you liked the show and thought it was perfect, hit that like button, give us a thumbs up. Give us a subscribe. We're on Instagram. Check out our Instagram.
And if you can't watch us and you're a busy person, you drive around a lot, also hear us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
Look at us with your ears.
Breaker. It's Spotify. You can listen to us also.
And we'll be back next week with yet another episode of A Starter and a Chaser.
Pick that glass up. Finish this bad boy. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
See you next Wednesday.
Now, chameleons.
Yeah.
I wonder if I've got chameleons.
How do you know? They've already blended in.